target point.
They actually are very much like the animals that we studied. So yeah, it was quite fortunate. And what happens is it's not being transferred from the human to the so, like, for example, I'll give you one really good example. So for many years, the model is one important thing to simulate the mechanics, knowing the
When you have an aneurysm in the abdomen, and if you'd had one of these that was involving the certain arteries that went out to your kidneys, for example, they couldn't really be treated by minimally invasive surgery up until a few years ago. But there's been big advances in the instruments that are used now, but they've involved in really complicated operations, so the devices now need to be positioned very, very accurately. And they need to be positioned to a few millimetres accuracy, and the operations can take between 3 hours to 7 hours in length. And so they really wanted some extra kind of channel of information that could help them to position these accurately. What we're doing here is we're using information that was taken before the operation. So it's images from a CT scanner that gives you a nice three-dimensional images. They're the images that the scan would have been, or the operation would have been planned upon. And we're matching them, so we're matching their plan that they produced before the operation to the actual images that they're using to carry out the operation during the surgery.
And so 50% of the oxygen in the air we breathe. Characterized by a glass-like state. While all of the creatures we've seen so far spend their whole life drifting on the ocean's surface, some animals complete only a part of their life cycle there. These are the juvenile stages of creatures that will end up living on the seabed.
That most life on Earth is cold-blooded. If we want to change the temperature of our environment, we can put on some more clothes, we can turn on the air conditioning, or we can actually regulate our own temperature. We're warm-blooded, but the plankton and insects and butterflies and creatures like that, they're cold-blooded. So they live where the environment suits them.
Also have a small shell made of aragonite, and then another type of phytoplankton that lives as colonies of cells. Volcanic eruptions eventually return the buried carbon to the atmosphere. This carbon dioxide gas.
How they influence the atmosphere, how they contribute to the oxygen in the air we breathe, how they affect the Earth's climate, even how if you go to the seaside and you smell the sea air, the saltiness, that little aroma, that's due to the plankton. The phytoplankton, they release chemicals which go into the atmosphere. Those chemicals react with sunlight and they give the aroma of the seaside. Those same chemicals, when they react with sunlight, cause little particles. We call those as scientists cloud condensation nuclei. They cause the clouds. So plankton, they affect so many aspects of the world around us.
Instead of carbon dioxide dissolves in seawater, it forms a weak acid. Scientists are concerned that increasing ocean acidity due to rising of the plankton from the seabed. The lacking long spines and equipped with a pair of claws, it feeds voraciously before sinking to the seabed, where it will turn into a young crab. In most starfish, many more, jellyfish are among the most. Young moon jelly is just 5 millimetres across. Its bell will measure up to 4 dioxide in seawater into organic carbon compounds, which
It's alright. It's hard to start off with and it gets easier as you practice.
Unlike previous models, this has got tactile feedback, so you can see the image on the screen, but you can also, using the instruments, you can actually feel picking up of the tissues and your instruments knocking together.
You just need to get it on the green.
our research has now demonstrated that this is due to a protein called activated protein C. In a normal patient, there is a fibrin mesh and platelets which adhere to that, and that forms a normal clot and keeps blood within the vessels or at the site of injury. What our research has shown is that injury itself activates activated protein C, and that causes a destruction of the fibrin mesh, and the clots become weak and non-functional.
There you go. So that's essentially what happens. You then have a clot, you then stop bleeding.
So they're very keen to hold.